Hi, I'm Anna, and we are out here at Maker Faire in San Mateo, California. It's our third year out here at Maker Faire, and we are having a blast. It's crazy, full of people and wonderful projects. In the Bazaar tent, there's a lot of great artists selling their crafts, and one of them is Gina Rios. Hi, Gina.
Hello.
So nice to see you. Now, I've known
too.
Gina for a long time. Her mom told me she was going to be here. I said, oh my God, we have to have Gina come show us her art. Now, Gina is a metal jewelry artist.
Yep.
And you're going to tell us a little bit how to do an ear wire and how to cut copper. So this is really some good little pointers for you. So Gina, take it away.
Okay, just really basic. This is the Ginkgo necklace. It's kind of my signature piece, and it requires a little bit of experience with the jeweler's saw because they're small grooves, but just some pointers. I like to use a lot of things from nature, so I use leaves, textures that I find, and sometimes I trace just a straight ginkgo leaf, but it helps to make a template out of cardboard because then I can use it over and over again. And here I just have a sheet of copper. It's 22 gauge copper.
22 gauge.
And then I like to use a ballpoint pen because it imprints in the metal and gives it a nice groove for your jeweler's saw.
Oh, good tip
to
for
follow,
you.
which is really helpful. And I just trace my pattern straight on there. And then when I'm done, I would use my jeweler's saw.
Okay, so let's just move it just so they can see a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, it really does.
It's really
It really does etch into the copper. That's amazing.
Yeah, it kind of engraves it a little bit, which is nice. And then I have a little, jig that sits in front of me. And this is my jeweler's saw. It's important to have.
Yes, this is a saw, you guys. If you could believe, look at this blade. Here, let me put my hand behind there. Look at how narrow. I was like, no, that can't cut the copper. She goes, oh, how thick can it cut?
It can cut really thick metal, even solid, solid metal. It takes a while. You have to go pretty slow, but it's pretty amazing what a jeweler's saw can cut.
That's just incredible. So then you put it in your vise, and then it's just a real slow.
Yeah, just slow and real straight. And actually, you don't have to press or hold it. The trick actually to holding a jeweler's saw is to almost have it so it falls out of your hand really loose.
Really?
And really straight. And at first, you'll break a lot of saw blades.
Because if you tilt it, that's when they snap.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'd probably go through a couple dozen.
It takes a while. Yeah, it takes a while to be able to, wear your saw blades down before you break them. But yeah, so that's kind of what I do for my necklaces. I do a lot of hand cut stuff. And then for earrings, here's just a little example of something I would use for an earring. I like to do a lot of textures, so this earring has some wire press lines into it. And I like to make my own ear wires.
Okay.
It's a really small detail, but I've been surprised at how many people notice if you make your own ear wires versus buying them. Yeah. And this is something that even beaders could do to give their jewelry like a little more elegant of a look, which I wish I would have known when I was doing a lot of beading. But
now, what's the gauge on the wire?
This is 20 gauge wire, and that's pretty typical for an ear wire.
Okay. And is it sterling you're using? Or?
This is sterling silver, and actually this is, I believe, half hard, but if you're going to make an ear wire, you want to make sure that it's either half hard or hard.
Okay.
Unless you have a way of hardening it yourself,
okay.
But that way it stays springy. It's
okay,
not too
I got
bendy.
that. Now I understand the half hard. Okay.
And so what you would do, I have my pliers, my round nose pliers.
And I'm just going to have you move right in over here a little closer. There we go.
And so I just make a little loop on the end. Pretty basic. And then from your loop, you can really shape it any way you want. I like to do kind of a pointed ear wire, so I'll just bend it like that with my finger and then bend it down.
Oh, okay.
And then you just kind of decide how long you want the actual wire to be. I usually take it right about where the loop is and bend it. So I just use my fingers. You could also use pliers. My fingers are kind of callous, so I use them for more things than I maybe should, but, and then I just snip it off. And let's see, I like to hammer it a little bit to kind of flatten it out. It makes it look nicer, and also it really hardens it, so you know it's not going to bend. This is just a really small forging hammer, and they come in all different shapes and sizes. So then I just hammer the end, the little bend, kind of flip it over and hammer it on the other side. You could do it with either the flat or the ball side of the hammer. If you do it with the ball, it'll give it a little bit of a hammered texture, which some people like.
I actually like that look. It's really cool look.
I like it too.
And then does that also strengthen it a little bit more when you hammer it, or?
It does.
Okay.
It strengthens the metal because the way you harden metal is by working it. So either bending it, hammering it, you know, moving it in some way is what hardens it. So, and yeah, there you go. You want it, sometimes the end's a little snaggly, so I'll take a file or even just a piece of sandpaper and smooth it out.
And hit the ends.
Yeah. And that's my ear wires. And then this one doesn't exactly fit on here, but I would make maybe a bigger loop
put it
on something like that. Or something more
complicated.
complicated.
Well, thanks for showing us how to make the ear wire, because it really is super simple, and it gives you a little bit more creative outlet to your jewelry than just, you know, the loop ones you have to buy in the jewelry section.
Yeah, and you can make like really big, beautiful loops really easily.
Oh, wow.
Which people like. So.
And one little question, I want to just go back to the ginkgo leaf. You sand it then with this to get it nice and smooth around the edge after you do your cutting?
After you cut it, it has a pretty rough edge.
Okay.
So you have to go in with a file. Here are my trusty little jeweler's files. There's bigger ones too, so I usually take a big one and then I take a smaller one and just go one way around. So you want, because
it's basically like little burrs on it, so you want to get all the little burrs off. Okay.
Sorry, and then sandpaper. Sandpaper, either 200 grit, 300 grit, kind of depending on how fine you want your finish to be. I use a ton of sandpaper to sand everything. So. Yeah.
Well, Gina, thank you for sharing how to make the ear wire. That's fantastic. And how to cut the copper, because I think I might be inspired to try doing this craft.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it's really fun. I do think I might snap the blades, like I said, but it looks like I can learn to do it. And tell people where they can find out how they can purchase your jewelry.
I have a website. It's ginarios.com, and I'm also on Etsy. Gina Rios Metal is my shop name. And I'm over there today.
She's here today. And I have checked out Gina on Etsy and her website, and so go ahead and take a look at it. She has some beautiful pieces. She does rings, and you do custom work as well. You know, check her out, and it's really fun that you came and shared your craft with us today. Thanks, Gina. And what we say, when creativity knocks, open the door.